Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Prepping by Faith, and today I'm going to share several articles with you guys surrounding this CPI inflation and what we're seeing and the reports that are coming in. I've entitled this video Buckle Up because I don't think that we've seen anything yet. I don't think that their predictions have been on point. I've been saying that since the beginning. So we're going to go ahead and hit the highlights of some of these articles. I'm going to share some information with you as we go along, and I'm also going to give you guys some suggestions towards the end of this video about things that you can do to be better prepared and to sort of, restrain your own budgets and figure out ways to maneuver in this situation that we are seeing unfolding with this sky high inflation. So this one is coming to us from USA Today, so take that with a grain of salt. It says January CPI inflation rate slows to 6.4%, but monthly inflation rose by 0.5%. So this one says that it's eased for the seventh straight month in January, helping by lower costs for used vehicles and offering some relief to consumers struggling with high prices over the past year. They say that the prices for a range of goods and services rose by 6.4% over the past 12 months, down slightly from the 6.5% in December and a 40-year high of 9.1% that they were owning up to in June. On a month by month basis, however, they're saying that prices increased by 0.5% in January compared with this slower gain of 0.1% in December. So they say that that acceleration has been driven by higher costs for rent and our shelter costs is what they are saying. They said that Americans have been struggling with these soaring prices since last year, resulting in a decline in the value of their income despite historic wage increases. Well, I don't know who's been getting all these historic wage increases, but I know it hasn't been me and my husband. And I don't know what you guys are seeing, but I have not seen that. So the inflation data, this is what I want to hit right here, guys. The inflation data follows last month's surprisingly strong labor report, which showed that employers added 517,000 jobs, well above expectations, and raising concerns that the economy remains too hot and could keep prices at elevated levels for too long. Well, you know what, guys? Let's go ahead and take a look at what those 517,000 jobs entailed. So we're going to hop over here to Forbes, and it says two different worlds. Jobs report shows record hiring of restaurant and bar workers, while LinkedIn data shows hiring slowed down for white collar professionals. So the jobs that we are seeing that are being added, this 517,000 jobs that have come in, right? Most of which are going to be in the service sector, contributing 397,000 jobs, and leisure and hospitality adding 128,000 jobs. So I wanted to touch on that. So the jobs that are opening up, guys, a lot of these, a lot of these are going to probably be more of your part-time jobs too. I don't know that for certain that they are considering all of these full-time jobs. A lot of these jobs are not going to contain the benefits and things that we need either. What I wanted to hit on here is the new report conducted by the career-oriented social media platform shows hiring on LinkedIn dropped by 23% year over year in the United States in January. That is going to be a stronger indicator of what we are going to see as far as the jobs market. You may see some job openings in the food sector and the hospitality sector, but these are not always going to be guaranteed jobs. They could go by the wayside again next month. It just depends on how much business they have, right? Those could be let go in an instant. And so it also depends on how our economy is going to be doing moving forward. A lot of people aren't going to be able to afford to maybe travel as much this summer because their budgets are restrained. People aren't going to be able to eat out as much as they have been. So as we see people's budgets sort of be tighter and tighter and more restricted, these jobs could go away in a neon second. So this is not a true indicator, this 517,000 jobs. What we are seeing with the 23% less, that is a stronger indicator of what we're seeing. And we already know about all of the layoffs in the tech industry. So I just wanted to touch on that. I think that is very deceptive of them to mention in this article. So I'm going to go ahead and touch on a couple other ones that I came across. This one was coming to us from MSN. They're saying that key facts in here: consumer prices rose 6.4%, which is everybody is saying, but it's coming in a lot hotter than what economists' expectations of 6.2% were. So what to watch for? Now, this one, they say the Fed's next interest rate announcement is slated for March 22nd. So Goldman Sachs economists project that the central bank will deliver quarter point hikes at its next two meetings and then hold top interest rates at 5.25%, the highest level since 2007 for the rest of the year. So they say they note fewer hikes might be needed if weak business confidence hurts the labor market too much, while more might be needed if the economy or inflation reaccelerates too quickly. Well, guys, what are we witnessing? What are we witnessing? Reaccelerates. It hasn't slowed down. I don't see how it's going to slow down. So for them to say might be needed, more are likely to be needed. So this is the low end projection here of 5.25%. It's probably going to be higher than that. We need to be preparing for that. We need to know what that's going to look like for our families. This one was coming to us from NPR News. Inflation eased again in January, but there's a cautionary sign. It says that while 12-month price increases was slightly lower, prices surged between December and January, suggesting inflation is still far from tamed. Exactly, and I agree with them. They say the recent spike in prices suggests that inflation may have more staying power than financial markets have anticipated. They had this expectation that it would go away quickly and painlessly, and they're saying that's not at all guaranteed. And this is coming from the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, which he said last week. And they say the rise in consumer price index between December and January was fueled by higher costs for shelter, food, and gasoline. Well, no surprise there. And let's think about gasoline, right? Biden has actually lowered our reserves to the lowest point since 1973. He continues to pull from there. What happens when he can no longer pull from those reserves? What is that going to do to inflation? What are we going to experience then? They are putting a band-aid on these things, and they are not fixing anything. They are not fixing anything. There's only so much oil there. And so eventually it's going to run out. It's going to run dry. He's not going to be able to pull from that. And then we're going to see things take off again. And it could be worse than what we've been experiencing even since last year. So we need to be prepared for what that looks like, right? So I just wanted to touch on a few of these things, and then I wanted to go ahead and give you guys some suggestions. So let me give you some suggestions as far as food prices and the increases that we keep seeing in food costs. We all know that one of the better ways to save money when it comes to food is to buy in bulk. Now, I know some of you guys probably don't have your big box memberships, and that's something that you might want to consider. Now, one of the things I've suggested before on one of my videos, and this was probably back when I first started my channel, is go in together with another family member or a friend and put your resources together to get one of these big box memberships. They will allow you to have two cards, so you can each have a card for your household, and that is going to help cut down those membership costs. It's going to help you get in the door and be able to start purchasing these products that you need to through bulk. Now, is everything a good buy that way? No, not everything. You're going to have to watch your prices, but a lot of things are. And one of the things that we purchase heavily is going to be the your paper products, your meats. I find that a lot of the meats, especially in Sam's Club, are a lot cheaper than if you're going to go to some place like your Albertsons. They do run sales occasionally on their meat, but you have to be in there and watching those constantly. So being able to buy something in bulk is going to be a better deal. As far as, I have mentioned previously, the rotisserie chickens in these big box stores are going to be a lot less money as well. In Sam's Club, they are still $4.99. Now, the day they raise that, which they have not raised that since all of this started, because that is considered a loss leader for their store, is the day that I'm going to begin to become a lot more concerned. So those chickens, I take them, I cut them, I take meat off of half the chicken, the other half the chicken, and I go ahead and separate that meat, and then I freeze that inside of food saver bags, and you can keep that for at least 4 months in your freezer, and you can rotate through that. I use it in everything from casseroles to soups to stews. It really helps to stretch that budget. You can put them in quesadillas, burritos, whatever it is that you guys like to eat and make with chicken. That is a way to help stretch your budget. Some other things, I've touched on this before. Now, nobody really wants to do this. I know a lot of people don't, because we like our independence, right? But you can go ahead and go back to carpooling. As we see these gas prices continue to climb, and they're probably going to accelerate more this summer, it is a good idea to consider carpooling. If you have somebody that works with you that lives nearby and you guys can pool your resources and take one vehicle to and from work, go ahead and do that. I think that is going to help significantly in help reducing that. Not making wasted trips. We've talked about that before, where you try to go out, plan accordingly, go out once a week. Don't be running to the grocery store every 10 minutes for items that you need. Make a list and stick to that list. That's also going to help you with your budget when you are shopping, is to stick to that core list and not navigate down alternative aisles and, find everything. Now, it's still a good idea to look for items on end caps that are on clearance, that are on sale, that you can put back extra of, but we have to be wise with what we're putting up, making sure to emphasize items that are not only going to be a good deal, but they're going to be things that you actually are going to eat, that you're actually going to enjoy eating, that you're going to put into your food stock rotation. Things like your canned goods and your pasta and your flour and your sugar, all those things, rice, beans, all those things that if you don't eat beans, then don't stock beans. If you don't eat rice, don't stock rice. Put an emphasis on pasta. I've mentioned that before too. Things like your dehydrated potato flakes and your pancake mixes that only need water. Those are going to be good ideas, good items to put up in your prepper pantry and be thinking about. The other thing is, don't acquire any new debt. With everything that we're seeing, the last thing you want to do is go out and purchase yourself a new vehicle right now. Now, sometimes we don't have much of a choice if we lose a vehicle and it breaks down, but you can at least go and look at a used vehicle and not take on, a huge inflated car payment that you might not be able to afford right now. Think about your budget too, and what would happen if you were to lose your job. What if you are if you're a two household income, what does that look like if one of you were to lose your job? What does it look like if you both lost your job? Doing everything you can to make sure that you have a little bit of a nest egg saved, making sure that you have put aside your extra, items that you use on a regular basis, whether that's hygiene products or food products, extra underwear and socks at a minimum, things that are that we know we're going to need, that we know we're going to use, and that aren't going to come down in price. These are the things that we need to be working on. So if you guys have enjoyed this video today, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And remember to pray, prep, and put God first. God bless. Hey guys, are you concerned about the death of the dollar? Are you concerned about a full blown economic collapse? If you are, I want you to consider giving Genesis Gold Group a call. They are a Christian based company that is going to help you roll over your 401k into a gold backed IRA that is self governed. You also have the ability to send them cash and take possession of those precious metals if that is something that you would like to do. As we see all of these things unfolding before us, the sky high inflation, the move away from the US dollar as a petrodollar, and we see the central bank digital currencies that are going to be underway this summer. Preserving our wealth through precious metals is one way to sort of hedge our bets and make sure that we have something that is going to be more substantial to carry us forward. So go ahead, check them out. They are Genesis Gold Group, genesisgoldgroup.com, or give them a call at 1-800-200 4653. Tell them Prepping by Faith sent you, and God bless.